Imagine driving through a suburban neighborhood, past modest homes with neatly trimmed lawns and unassuming sedans in the driveways. You might assume the people inside are middle-class families, scraping by or living paycheck to paycheck. But what if I told you that many of these unremarkable houses are home to millionaires? Not the flashy, jet-setting kind, but quiet, disciplined people who've built wealth through frugality and focus. This is the revelation at the heart of Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko, a book that reshapes how we view wealth by uncovering the habits of America's hidden millionaires. Through years of research, the authors peel back the curtain on the surprising lives of these prodigious accumulators of wealth, showing us how ordinary people amass extraordinary fortunes, and how we can follow their lead. Chapter 1. Meet the Millionaire Next Door. My journey into understanding wealth began with a startling realization. The people we imagine as millionaires, living in mansions, driving luxury cars, are often not the real deal. Stanley and Danko introduce us to folks like Bubba Richards, a scrap metal dealer who lives in a modest ranch-style home and drives a pickup truck. Bubba's no tech mogul or Wall Street titan, yet his net worth is in the millions. How? He spends less than he earns, invests wisely, and lives far below his means. The author's data shows that most millionaires aren't glamorous. They're teachers, small business owners, or engineers who quietly save and invest. This chapter hooked me, challenging my stereotypes and sparking curiosity about how these millionaires next door operate. Takeaway: wealth isn't about appearances. It's about discipline and living below your means, no matter your income. Chapter 2. Frugal, Frugal, Frugal. I used to think wealth meant spending big, fancy dinners, designer clothes, the works. But Stanley and Danko reveal that millionaires like Dr. North, a dentist with a 7-figure net worth, shop at discount stores and drive used cars. Their research shows that prioritize financial independence over status symbols. They budget meticulously, avoid debt, and save at least 15 to 20% of their income. I started picturing myself clipping coupons or buying a reliable used car instead of leasing a shiny new one. It wasn't glamorous, but it was liberating. Frugality isn't deprivation, it's a strategy for freedom. Takeaway: frugality is the cornerstone of wealth. Spend less than you earn and invest the difference. Chapter 3. Time, Energy, and Money. Time is money, but millionaires use it differently. The authors introduce us to people like Sarah, a schoolteacher who moonlights as a landlord, managing rental properties to build wealth. Allocate their time to wealth-building activities, planning investments, researching opportunities, or running side businesses. They don't waste hours on frivolous purchases or chasing trends. I reflected on my own habits. How much time did I spend scrolling social media instead of learning about investments? This chapter pushed me to audit my time, treating it as a resource as valuable as money. Takeaway: invest your time in activities that build wealth, like learning financial skills or starting a side hustle. Chapter 4. You aren't what you drive. I'll never forget meeting a colleague who drove a 10-year-old Toyota but owned a portfolio of rental properties. Stanley and Danko explain that millionaires avoid big hat, no cattle purchases, flashy cars, or designer goods that scream wealth but drain savings. Their data shows often buy used vehicles and keep them for years. This hit home. I'd been eyeing a luxury SUV to look successful, but the book made me rethink. Why impress strangers when I could invest that money in my future? It's a mindset shift. Value substance over show. Takeaway: don't tie your identity to possessions. Choose assets that grow wealth, not liabilities that drain it. Chapter 5. Economic Outpatient Care. The authors dive into a trap I recognized instantly. Parents giving adult children money, thinking it helps, but often creating dependency. They share stories of underaccumulators of wealth, UAWs, people with high incomes but low net worth because they rely on handouts or overspend to maintain a lifestyle. Millionaires, on the other hand, teach their kids financial independence. I thought of friends who leaned on family loans, never learning to budget. This chapter inspired me to set clear financial boundaries and focus on self-reliance. Takeaway: financial independence comes from discipline, not handouts. Teach and practice self-sufficiency. Chapter 6: Affirmative Action, Family Style. Raising wealthy kids isn't about spoiling them, it's about instilling discipline. Stanley and Danko highlight millionaires who teach their children to work hard and live frugally. They share the story of a couple who gave their kids modest allowances, encouraging them to earn extra through chores or part-time jobs. This resonated with me. I grew up thinking wealth was inherited, but the book shows it's built through values. I started imagining how I'd teach my future kids to save and invest, not just spend. Takeaway: wealthy families prioritize teaching financial discipline over lavish gifts, setting kids up for long-term success. Chapter 7: Find Your Niche. Millionaires often thrive by filling a gap others overlook. The authors profile entrepreneurs, like a dry cleaner who expanded into uniform rentals, turning a small business into a million-dollar empire. Pause choose careers or businesses where they can excel, often in unglamorous fields like plumbing or accounting. This chapter made me rethink my career path. Instead of chasing trendy industries, I considered where my skills could solve real problems. It's not about glamour, it's about impact and opportunity. Takeaway: find a niche where your skills meet market needs and focus on creating value. Chapter 8: Jobs, Millionaires versus Heirs. The final chapter contrasts millionaires with their heirs, who often squander wealth. Stanley and Danko show that PAWs work in practical fields, small business owners, professionals, or managers, while heirs chase prestige, overspending to maintain appearances. I thought of a friend who inherited a fortune but burned through it on luxury vacations. Millionaires build wealth through steady, unglamorous work, not fleeting status. This chapter cemented my resolve to focus on consistent effort over quick wins. Takeaway: wealth comes from steady, practical work, not chasing prestige or relying on inheritance.